Navy, of course, coming off a massive win out at Air Force on Saturday. They've got the bye this week before they return home to face Charlotte. All our next guest did on Saturday was go for 100 yards rushing and 100 yards receiving in that big win. He is Navy slot back Eli Heidenreich, and he is with us this morning here on GCR. Eli, it's Glenn in Baltimore. It's great to chat with you, man. Congratulations on a great win. Thank you for taking the time for us.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. Hey, Eli, if I could, can you take me back? You find out Drew Cronick's coming. He's bringing this wing T offense with him. Are you excited about it? Are you nervous about it? Are you wondering what your role is? And how has it worked out so well that it has been the perfect marriage for you in this offense?
Yeah, so back in, I think it was around January is when we were told that Coach Cronick would be coming in. And at the time, I would say I was a little, had some mixed emotions. I was a little bit nervous. I had some excitement too, but ultimately kind of going and looking at his offense, and seeing, some of the numbers that, his pass receivers and slots were putting up, I was ultimately mainly excited. So, the off season kind of rolls around and we start implementing the new offense, and the position I'm at, the slot I play, they have us doing a lot, and I was pretty excited to see, we started putting in a lot more passing plays and just spreading the ball out a lot more, and that's kind of carried over into this season. I'd say, Navy, you see us throwing the ball a lot more than you would in years prior. So I'm loving the way the offense is played out so far.
I think that might be the understatement of the century, right? Like, you guys are really, and let's not you're not talking about throwing the ball 40 times a game, but for Navy, this might as well be like a West Coast offense that you guys are running. Was there a moment during camp or early on in the season? Was there a moment that like it hit you? Oh, this is gonna work. Like, was there a moment that you said, we've got a chance to do something really special this year, because you knew how the offense was coming together?
Yeah, I'd say it kind of hit me during fall camp this summer, right before the season. And, a few days in to camp, and you have some of the defensive guys coming up to you because, we're going against them every day, just kind of scrimmaging. And they're like, dude, this new offense is legit. You have the defense coming up to you and kind of giving you credit, and
Wow.
They're excited, and it kind of transfers over to us, and we're like, oh, we're kind of it's working over here. So I think that was I saw a bit of that this camp, the fall camp prior to the season. That's really when I first realized that we have a shot to be really good on offense.
Where does the toe drag swag come from? Again, we're talking about, like, this isn't something we've seen a lot at Navy over the years. How much do you work on the toe drag, and did you know that you had nailed it on Saturday?
So I played. I was kind of like a traditional receiver in high school,
Okay.
and I think I gained a lot of kind of more traditional receiver skills. During that time, something I worked on a lot. Route running. Obviously catching the ball a lot. So I think that's where that skill set comes from. But on Saturday, I could kind of sense the sideline coming, and I knew I really had to stretch out to get that ball, and I started dragging my toe a few yards before the sideline, and I initially I didn't think I got it. I couldn't really tell if I got my toe in time, but then they showed it on the scoreboard at the stadium, and I was like, you could see the line of pellets going to the sideline. Like, I caught that ball.
Yeah, right.
It's crazy.
What is it? Okay, what is the play that you can make as an offensive player that gets the bench hype the most? Like, is it a toe drag? Is it like going up and mossing a defender? Like, what's the most electrifying play that gets everybody fired up on the bench?
I would say the moss for
Okay.
sure. That's what gets the most reaction out of the guys on the sideline for sure.
All right, so we got to work on that then, right? Like, that's got to be next this season.
Yes, sir. We'll get that. That's coming, no doubt.
I love it. Eli Heidenreich is with us here on GCR. Eli, the frustrations of the last couple of years, and particularly against Air Force, and obviously in the Commander-in-Chief Trophy. I know, you guys are we'll talk about not choking on the sugar. I know you guys have bigger goals moving forward, but how significant, how important was it for you guys to go get that taken care of, erase some of those frustrations, and remind everybody that this is what Navy football is all about?
Yeah, that's kind of what we talk about in the off season as a program. Is those two teams, Army and Air Force. It's something that has been frustrating.
Oh, Eli, I think we lost you there for a second. You still there?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yep, got you back, man. No worries. You were talking about how frustrating it's been.
Yeah, it's been frustrating personally. I've never beaten up until last Saturday, beaten either of the two Service Academy teams. So, kind of just all off season thinking about those losses just fuels my teammates and the coaches just to keep pushing and gives us something to work towards.
Tell me about don't choke on the sugar, because I heard about it from Rayon a couple weeks ago after the Memphis game, and clearly you guys, for at least these next couple of weeks, have been able to avoid that when everybody was telling you how great you were. What does that look like? How do you guys practice that in reality? Because we're all fired up. Everybody who cares about Navy football is enjoying this. How do you celebrate and appreciate your accomplishments without resting on them and knowing you have more that you want to accomplish?
Yeah, so that phrase was brought in by our he's Coach Brown. So he's Coach Ricky Brown. He's our special teams coordinator, and he's an outside backers coach. And he brought that phrase in with him. It's something he says all the time. It's just kind of carried over to all the other coaches and players. And we have this role. Coach Newberry talks about it. You get 24 hours after the win to celebrate, enjoy it, think about it. But after that period of time, you kind of just got to move on and leave that in the past. It's trying to stay level, not get too high, too low, and just maintain just try and be steady and consistent. If you kind of dwell on those wins or losses, you'll never get better. So it's something we just kind of got to move past the wins and look on to the next opponent.
So far, so good. Obviously, a long way to go in that department. Can
Yes,
you
sir.
tell me about Blake and your relationship with him? And did you know from what you saw of him late last season that we found the guy, or did you maybe not even realize how good he was capable of being? The almost effortless way that he throws the football really blows my mind. How much he can generate without having to put a whole ton into those throws.
Yeah, obviously he's been unbelievable this season,
Yeah.
and I can't say that I knew he was going to have some sort of like crazy breakout season like he's had, but I always knew that he was a very talented player. He's always been one of the faster guys on our team, and just in the off season, if we're thrown together, he's doing the same thing, just throwing the ball where it needs to be thrown. So I've always seen the potential, and I'm really glad to kind of see him settle in to like not only the football player he is, but he's just like an unbelievable leader at the same time. He's really just he has this presence on our offense that he's kind of just taken over this season. It's really it's been awesome to see.
That's really cool. He's Navy slotback Eli Heidenreich. He's with us on Glenn Clark Radio. Eli, one of the cool things to me about what you're doing this year is that you could do it alongside one of your teammates that you've been with for a long time, and both of you all obviously had big games on Saturday. Your relationship with Alex Teska, what it has meant to be able to do this with him, the success that you're finding together, can you kind of put that into words?
Yeah, it's been awesome. Growing up with him, he's been my best friend for a while now. I grew up. I've known him since I think first grade is the time we first met. So obviously we've been developing our relationship for a long time, and coming to Navy together has been really cool. It's just someone I have a different level of trust with, and just been building for a long time, and it's been awesome having him here.
It's a really cool story, man. I always like to talk to guys about how they ended up at the Naval Academy. I know there was a lot of Navy in your family. Was it something that you always had in mind, or how did it work out for you that you made the choice to come to the academy as well?
So Yeah, both my grandfather and my uncle served, and it's something that I paid attention to when I was growing up, and something that was important to me and my family. So it was always something I was looking at, but I knew at the same time I wanted to play college football. So when the time rolled around, I'm in high school, and some schools are starting to give me some looks, and the Naval Academy is one of them. I paid attention to that, and I came down here and just love the coaching staff, love the area, and just it felt right. So just the pairing of being able to serve my country while also being able to play Division I football just seemed like the perfect match.
That's really cool, man. I know you're a cyber operations major. Have you thought about what you would like your service to look like moving forward?
So I'm planning on going to the Marine Corps. I think that's my plan right now, but I still have about another year until I have to decide. So, still thinking about it.
I mean, look, man, first of all, we need to say thank you for that commitment, right? Like, that is an incredible thing that you do. And I think it also is such a testament to, like, that's what's on your plate. It's funny because I'm thinking about you guys having a bye week, right? And, like, everybody else in college football, bye week is like a chance to, like, really rest and get. And then I think about you guys and what bye week looks like for you. It ain't the traditional bye week, is it?
No doubt.
What is,
yes, sir.
Eli, what is your so today is Tuesday. What is your schedule like for Tuesday of a bye week as a college football player at the Naval Academy?
So I'll get up, and today is one of the rare days I actually have a period off of class. So that's how I'm able to call you right now. But I get up around 7, go down to breakfast, and then I have this off period right now. But then I'll go to class. It's for one of my majors of class, and then after class we'll have a lift at lunch, and then I'll have more class in the afternoon before going to practice. So
that's a little bit different, man. That's a little bit different, and it takes an amount. Did discipline come natural to you? Was that something that was easy for you, again, given the military, like in your family, or was that still a bit of a culture shock for you as you got to Annapolis?
It was definitely a little bit of a culture shock, no doubt. It was definitely a change of life. So it's something I have adapted to over the last 2 years for sure.
And I think it's paying off, right? Like, we can see how much what it takes to be disciplined at the academy. Can you see how much that's helped you on the football field? Do you see like a parallel for, like maybe it makes things easier as a football player?
I would say so. I think there's certainly things that transfer over from the military things we learn here to the football field. I'd say just as a team overall, just I think we play the game a bit more disciplined than other teams. I think that's something we try to carry ourselves on. It's something we take pride in.
That's awesome, man. Eli Heidenreich, it's awesome to watch you play. Obviously, I can't even imagine. Like, what are the vibes? We'll wrap with that. Like, what are the vibes around this team? You say you guys aren't choking on the sugar, but I got to imagine it's still fun, like, when you show up, when you know on both sides of the ball how good your football team is.
Yeah, it's honestly, I would say since I've been here, it's the first time I think we've had a lot of excitement surrounding our team.
Yeah.
The last 2 years obviously have not been great, and it hasn't, it's been below the standard of Navy football. And I think, we're kind of back to where we were in years prior. And I think that's really exciting, not only for us as a team, but, for the Brigade of Midshipmen and just the town of Annapolis. I think some people are, coming with us and are really getting excited around our football team, and that's cool to see.
And it's around the state. I can promise you that, too. More and more people are getting fired up and telling me about their plans to get to Annapolis or, like, get to New Jersey for the Notre Dame game. Like, they are,
yes, sir.
They're all in. It's at E Heidenreich 44, correct, on Instagram and on Twitter that folks can give you a follow?
Yes, sir.
Eli, congratulations, man. What a fun show that was on Saturday. May there be more 100 games in your future. That would be incredible. First to ever do it at Navy, and may it be something that you do with regularity. Really appreciate you taking the time for us this morning. Best of luck as you move forward. Thank you so much, Eli.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.